This is a fight breakdown of Mayweather vs. De La Hoya from back in May 2007. Before we jump into the breakdown, I want to let y'all know that we're trying something a little different. Each week I'll be posting a new video as we get closer to Mayweather vs. Pacquiao. I know a lot of you are probably excited about that particular fight, so I think this will be a good way for us to take a good look at both fighters. In total, I'll post 3 Mayweather videos and 3 Pacquiao videos. That way we can study the skills of 2 of the world's best to apply to our own training. But also maybe together we can make a prediction of who will win that fight. In each video we'll look at 3 strengths and 3 vulnerabilities which each fighter showed during that particular fight. I truly appreciate those of you who have subscribed, and if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now to make sure you're getting the alerts of these videos as they're posted. Okay, so jumping into things. Both fighters were in their primes and were considered among the best in boxing. Mayweather was 37-0 with 24 wins by knockout. He was favored to win this fight and was coming off some big wins against Arturo Gatti, Zab Judah, who I think gave him one of the toughest fights of his career, and most recently Carlos Baldomir. Oscar, on the other hand, was 38-4 with 30 knockouts. He had a higher knockout percentage and was a fan favorite because of his fighting style, but he had some trouble beating the likes of Felix Trinidad, Shane Mosley, and he was decisively defeated by B-Hop. Even still, Oscar was the champ and was still dangerous. They would be fighting for Oscar's light middleweight belt. In the end, Mayweather walked away with a split decision. So Floyd has a lot of strengths, but I'm only going to talk about 3 strengths that I felt stood out for him in this particular fight. The first strength for Floyd is his footwork. There's a few things that Floyd accomplishes with his footwork, one of which is lateral movement. His lateral movement allows him to quickly get out of unfavorable situations. Floyd lives in the middle of the ring. Nobody can beat him there. So if he gets backed up to the ropes, he's able to use lateral movement to quickly circle out of there and get back to the middle of the ring. The other interesting thing about Floyd's footwork is how he sets up his offense. You'll notice that he takes a couple steps to reset his stance, and then he pauses for half a second. That means he's ready to fire off a shot. He's waiting for Oscar to close the distance and then he'll fire. That slight pause means he's ready to throw. Note to Pacquiao, if you see Floyd pause like that, you better be ready to slip and counter. This pausing that Floyd is doing is a great form of deception. There's a lot of movement happening throughout the fight. So to pause slows things down visually for your opponent and allows you to catch him off guard with a quick shot. Another strength of Floyd's that he likes to use a lot, and definitely did so in this fight versus De La Hoya, is pot shots. I say pot shots because that really is the best way to describe it. He has an exceptional way of throwing crosses, hooks, and even uppercuts from a distance. Typically he'll throw one at a time, and when he does, he's literally in and out of there. So to pull this off, you obviously got to have fast hands, but you also got to have quick feet. You need to be able to spring in off your rear foot to close the distance. They say one of the biggest insults in boxing is throwing the lead right because it has the furthest distance to travel, giving your opponent the most time to react. But Floyd still lands the lead right without a problem. And the uppercut. And the hook. And there's another lead right. Another lead right. And the hook. The third strength of Floyd is, you guessed it, the shoulder roll. In general, his defense is fantastic. And in this fight versus De La Hoya, he put his shoulder roll technique on display. Now I want you to see this roll again because if you didn't notice the first time, while Floyd is doing the roll, he's able to sneak in a right cross right on Oscar's dome. Amazing. Oscar's actually making a fight and throwing the punches, but he's not doing it. And here's another one. And then here's a similar one. And I'm going to want you guys to see this one again so we can look at it in slow motion. As you see here, Oscar closes the distance. And Floyd's on the rope, so he goes into his roll. But notice how Oscar starts to alternate punches left, right, and he's just rolling them. You might want to try and double up his punches next time. You might catch him off guard. Alright, now on to the vulnerabilities for Floyd. I believe his first vulnerability is the fact that he tends to move straight back. You'll notice that Floyd likes to step straight back when his opponent attacks. Now he has the foot speed to pull this off, but I still think it's a bad habit. You don't want to back straight up when your opponent attacks because it can put you off balance, and it'll eventually put you on the ropes. Again, Floyd can laterally move away from the ropes, but even he got caught on the ropes a few times by Oscar. Now, is that something that Pacquiao could capitalize on? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
The other option was to try to stop speed with the jab, as Vernon Forrest did to Shane Mosley. That's not working as well. So once again, De La Hoya goes back to work.
Floyd's next vulnerability is defending the jab. Oscar's jab was working against Floyd, and the funny thing is he didn't keep using it. The fact is that anybody's vulnerable to the jab because the hand is quicker than the eye. The jab hand is the closest thing to your opponent, so it's able to land before your opponent can react at the right distance. Floyd is especially vulnerable to the jab because of his guard. He tends to keep his lead hand low. Pacquiao might want to consider using the jab to close the distance and land some bigger punches. Okay, so the last vulnerability for Floyd in this fight was that he punches without power. And I mean true power. Now, I know Floyd has power, but he prefers not to use it. He isn't throwing punches with conviction and an intention to knock his opponents out, but he is trying to outpoint his opponents, and he does it very well. He's also trying to frustrate his opponents by constantly hitting them with those quick punches. But this is a vulnerability because his opponent can recognize this and constantly pressure him. An opponent can disregard those punches, slip, close, cut off the ring, close, and so on. Of course, this is what Floyd wants. But can Manny Pacquiao figure it out? Let me know what you guys think will happen. We'll see. Well, I hope you guys were able to pick up some things from Money Mayweather. He's an amazing fighter to watch in action. Pure skill. Well, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you tune in next week for the next video. A look at Manny Pacquiao. Until next time, see ya.